Hi, it's Lenneke from Len's Crafty Life, and I don't know if you have wondered all this time who this cute little bunny is, but I have. This is a drawing, a painting by watercolor painting by Beatrix Potter, and I've heard it being called Mrs. Tittlemouse, or some even say that this bunny is in fact Peter Rabbit himself. But with both I thought it kind of odd. Mrs. Tittlemouse is a mouse, this bunny is obviously not a mouse, and Peter Rabbit doesn't really wear a pink little bow because he's a boy and not a girl. So I have bought a long time ago, when my teenage girls were little, I bought this. These are the complete works of Beatrix Potter in 23 stories. So I thought, well, I should be able to find this little bunny and figure out who she is. So I looked through every one of these and I couldn't find this picture. So then I did some research online and I found this. Previously unknown Beatrix Potter painting to be sold at auction, and this is from, if it's getting sharp, this is from October 30th, 2008. Now I'll just read if you're interested. You may want to listen. If you're not, just switch off. I will talk a little bit more about other Beatrix Potter characters, because some are being mixed up, and I really like the paintings, and I just always wondered who is whom in Beatrix Potter country. So I'll explain the difference between the three little mouses from her stories. Not every mouse that you see a drawing of is either Hunca Munca or Miss Tittlemouse. They're different characters. And I'll go into the different kittens as well that she has drawn. Just, a little bit of background on her and on her pictures. So, who is this mystery bunny drinking tea? Now, I'll tilt the camera down a little bit and I'll read this for you. So, this is an article from October 30th, 2008. It says, a previously unknown illustration by Beatrix Potter has been put up for auction by Bonhams of London. The watercolor shows a cute bunny girl drinking tea. It's fully realized painting which has never appeared in any of the Peter Rabbit books. That's why I couldn't find it in the little books, because I have the full series here. In fact, it is a bit of a mystery. The Daily Express reports that the illustration is expected to sell for at least £15,000 when it's auctioned in November. Bonhams of London says the painting is from a private collection. So who is the adorable mystery bunny who loves tea? And why didn't she get her own story? We hope someday her secret story is revealed. Now, this is another article. This is from November 2008, 4th of November 2008. Again, new Beatrix Potter Rabbit comes to light in unseen pictures. A previously unknown Beatrix Potter character has come to light after more than 100 years. Now here it says, Potter had a lonely childhood and her menagerie of animals were her only playmates. Then it reads, the little female rabbit sipping daintily from a teacup with a pink ribbon tied around her neck never made it into the pages of Potter's books. Instead, Potter chose Peter Rabbit as the star of her first children's story, followed soon after by Benjamin Bunny. The author and illustrator is believed to have painted the watercolor image around 1895. 7 years before the tale of Peter Rabbit was published. It measures 12.5 by 10 centimeters and bears the initials of HBP for Helen Beatrix Potter, her full name. The watercolor has been in a private collection for over 50 years and will be auctioned at Bonhams in Knightsbridge, West London on November 11th, where it is estimated to fetch up to £15,000. Beatrix painted much of her work from life and may well have christened the little rabbit, but today we can only guess what her name might have been. The character remains a mystery, a Bonham spokesman said. And then lastly, I found this article, again, a different one, of December 11th, again 2008. And it says, a watercolor of an unknown rabbit painted by Beatrix Potter has been sold at auction in London for £15,600. That's a lot of money. Who is the mystery bunny who loves tea, and why didn't she get her own story? The watercolor of a girl rabbit with a pink ribbon tied daintily around her neck has left experts puzzled. The subject of this highly finished painting never appeared in any of Beatrix Potter's rabbit tales. It has been in a private UK collection for the past 50 years. Now here it actually shows, this is the picture that we know so well. But this is, that's the cropped version, but this is the uncropped version. Well, you see it's been damaged over the years. And this is the original, a picture of the original work. And here it says, which I found quite interesting as well, if you can still want to bear with me. This is the last little piece that I will read, and then I'll get into the other pictures. It says the present lot was not published in any of Potter's children's books, the present lot being this picture. It exists in another version which contains exactly the same components, except that the animal is a kitten rather than a bunny. This reflects Potter's practice of making a number of versions of her pictures and experimenting with poses and props. The version which depicts the kitten is much sketchier than the present lot, which suggests that Potter found the composition with the bunny far more satisfactory. The version depicting the kitten was painted circa 1895 and was originally offered to Ernest Nisbet. Now, I've tried finding the picture with the kitten online, but unfortunately I have not been able to find that. It's probably somewhere, so if anybody ever finds it, let me know. I'd love to see it. So this cute little bunny, we still do not know who she is and what her name is. Now, personally, having gone through all my books, the little booklets that I have here, my series, I do think she might be, but of course I'm not an expert and I cannot prove this, she might be one of the children of Flopsy, Peter Rabbit's sister. And I think so. Here's the tale of the Flopsy bunnies. Now, the bunnies, Peter Rabbit and his sisters, Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, they grow up, and this is actually Benjamin Bunny, the cousin of Peter Rabbit, and he marries Flopsy, Peter Rabbit's sister. And the bunnies don't have individual names. There's 6 bunnies, 6 little bunnies that they have together, and they don't have individual names. But the reason why I think this bunny drinking the little cup of tea may well be one of the children of Benjamin Bunny and Flopsy is because in this booklet, The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies, there are some pictures with the bunnies with little bows around their neck. Now, I only see a red one and a blue bow in several of these pictures. Here again, the red bow and the blue bow. The others don't have bows. And here again is a bunny with a blue bow around its neck. So I just wonder actually if it's one of Flopsy's little rabbits. She may well be, and I hope maybe one day we will find out the real story of this really, really cute bunny. But hence it's not Mrs. Tittlemouse and it's not Peter Rabbit either. It's probably family of Peter Rabbit. So anyway, so who then is Mrs. Tittlemouse? Now, Mrs. Tittlemouse, we have here, Mrs. Tittlemouse is a little mouse. And she wears, if you compare the pictures, the drawings of Beatrix Potter, just have a careful look at the clothes they are wearing. They are pretty much always wearing, the same character is almost always wearing the same clothes. There is a little bit of an exception, but you can read that in the stories. And Mrs. Tittlemouse wears like this white and pink kind of top with a blue skirt. Now, or sometimes in some pictures it's a blue apron. And here you can see her with her white and pink striped little dress, cleaning up after Mr. Jackson. Here again she has the blue skirt on. These are all pictures, and here again of Mrs. Tittlemouse. So Mrs. Tittlemouse is the little mouse with this combination of clothes, the blue skirt and the pink and white striped top. Here again she is cleaning her cutlery. Very cute pictures. Here again she's asleep on the chair. So this is all Mrs. Tittlemouse. Very cute. So she is not the same mouse as Hunca Munca. And did you know, I really love this picture of Hunca Munca, but did you know that Hunca Munca is one of the bad mice? I didn't know. She looks so cute, but she's really bad, you know. She's in the tale of the two bad mice. And she and her husband actually rob a doll's house. The clothes that she's wearing is from a little doll. And she kind of robs some furniture as well. She just steals it. So I don't always, I must say, I love the images of Beatrix Potter. I don't always like the stories because I don't always think there's a good moral in the story, especially not for children. So I haven't read them all, and I haven't read them all to my children because when I started doing that, I thought like, I'm a born-again Christian. I don't always agree with the moral of the story. But anyway, that's for everybody, him or herself, to decide. Like this is a lovely, lovely picture. It's one of my favorite pictures, but Hunca Munca has stolen this dress and she has stolen the cradle. Now, that's a good moral of the story, right? Now, I do think in the end she does regret it. So that's good again because she goes to the doll's house and cleans up every day for the dolls. Now, that's a good thing, right? So again, she has a different dress from Mrs. Tittlemouse. Remember Mrs. Tittlemouse, blue skirt, white and pink top, and this is Hunca Munca with the lilac dress with the flowers on it. And here, so she has a blue dress. This again is Hunca Munca, so she wears the two different kind of dresses which she has stolen from Lucinda, the doll, in the doll's house. So that's Hunca Munca for you. Now again, she is not the same little mouse as the little mouse appearing in Appley Dapply's nursery rhymes. This again is a different mouse. We don't know her name, I think. Or do we know her name? Oh, well, she is Appley Dapply. This little mouse is Appley Dapply. And again, she steals. Great stories for little children, right? I'm sorry. There's a lot of stealing going on and fighting going on. Peter Rabbit steals from the garden, from Mr. McGregor's garden. And, you know, the Mr. McGregor wants to chop his head off. His daddy is being thrown into a pie and eaten. Real great stories for little children, you know. And the adults in these stories just lie. They lie about things. I don't know about Beatrix Potter. She made gorgeous pictures, but I'm not sure about the stories. Now, again, this cute, cute, cute little mouse is Appley Dapply, a little brown mouse. Now, again, she's not Mrs. Tittlemouse, and she's not Hunca Munca. And she's not the old woman who lived in a shoe. This again is I think this is my all-time favorite picture. I love this picture. And this again is in Appley Dapply's nursery rhymes, this little booklet. And it has a very short rhyme with it. You know the old woman who lived in a shoe and had so many children she didn't know what to do. I think if she lived in a little shoe house, that little old woman was surely a mouse. And that's the whole rhyme there is to it. So again, this little mouse is the mouse who lived in the shoe. It's not Mrs. Tittlemouse, and it's not Hunca Munca, and it's not Appley Dapply, and we don't know her name. So there are several mouses that she drew. She's probably drew more. So again, for the there is a challenge going on. Debbie Vignola has a challenge going on, and I found all these bags a while back. with all these Beatrix Potter images in my charity shop that I work at, and I'll send her some of these with my entry, which I hopefully will finish off today, and I'll just show you the images that I will send her and tell you from which stories they are. Now, this obviously is Peter Rabbit. You recognize Peter Rabbit from his blue coat. These are Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail. And they're eating, at the end of the story, they're eating the berries, the milk and the bread, while Peter Rabbit is a bit poorly. This again is Mrs. Rabbit with Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail. She is a single mother because her husband has been eaten by Mr. McGregor because his wife put him in a pie. Great. This picture actually features in the tale of Benjamin Bunny. Now, Benjamin Bunny here, he is wearing a hat from Mr. McGregor, and he has this handkerchief. Peter Rabbit lost his clothes in the garden of Mr. McGregor, which he wasn't allowed to go to, so he was quite disobedient to his mum. He lost his clothes there. He put on the handkerchief to cover himself up. His cousin Benjamin Bunny meets him and he says, well, let's go get your clothes back. So his clothes were put on a scarecrow with his little shoes as well, so his jacket and his shoes, and Mr. McGregor put his own hat on the scarecrow, and Benjamin Bunny tries it on, but it's too big, so he leaves it in the garden. Now, after they've recovered the clothes and the shoes of Peter Rabbit, Benjamin Bunny says, well, while we're at it, let's get some food here. And they take some onions in the red handkerchief. Of course, the story goes wrong. There's a kitten and they hide under a basket. The kitten sits on it for at least 5 hours. And this is Benjamin Bunny's father, old Mr. Benjamin Bunny. And he sees what has happened. He scares away the cat. He locks away the cat in the shed, gets the bunnies out, and they both get a good whipping. Again, great for kids, right? And then the end of the story is that they go home and, this again, Peter is home with Miss Bunny, old Mrs. Bunny, old Mrs. Rabbit. She forgives him of what he did, that he had gone to Mr. McGregor's garden, because at least he got his clothes back. And they happily eat some berries. Now, this again, you should know who this is. Who is this? Who is this? Yes. Hunka Munka. She's cleaning up the doll's house where she has stolen some goods from. This is... Now I'll explain the difference between the little cats in her stories. This, the white and grey cat with the lilac dress with the little, or actually it's a skirt and a top, is Tom Kitten's mother. She's called Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit, and obviously she features in the story, The Tale of Tom Kitten. Now, in other stories she appears as well, and she seems to be kind of a gossipy lady, which again is not really good. And I'll get on to Jemima later. So she is different from Tom. So this is the Tale of Tom Kitten. Here you can see the same picture. And she is also, I think, in this story, The Tale of Ginger and Pickles. No, she's not. Is she? No. Anyway, then I'll just say this little picture I'll give to Debbie Vignola as well. And this again is a little mouse. It's not all the previous mouses that I've mentioned. This is Miss Dormouse. She and her father, whom you can probably see there in the corner. So this is not Mrs. Dormouse. This is the daughter. Because it says here, after a time, Mr. John Dormouse and his daughter began to sell peppermints and candles. So this is young Miss Dormouse in The Tale of Ginger and Pickles. Now, let me see. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's the other kitten. This is actually the picture that I used on a card for Nola Harris, and I did say in that video that I thought this might be the mother of Tom Kitten. Well, she is not, because we've just seen the mother of Tom Kitten she wears this dress. The lilac dress, she is black and grey, and she has a lilac skirt and top. And this is a very different kitten. She's more like brown, and she has a blue and white dress on. So who is she? Now, this little kitten is Ribby in the tale of the Pie and the Patty Pan. So it's a different mouse. I won't tell the whole story. I've just read it, but it's a different little mouse and a totally different tale. So there's now here, she is wearing a lilac dress. She's dressing up for a tea party that she has. But again, the dress is different from, because this is a whole dress. Now, I've studied this, you know. I just spent an hour on doing this. It's a different dress. You see, a very different dress. This is a skirt and a top. And this is a full dress. Now, and a brown cat. And this is a grey and white cat, or a black and white cat. So there is a difference. It's not all the same cat. So what else do we have? Oh yeah, we had Jemima Puddle Duck, obviously, and I heard Debbie say that she didn't remember the name of the fox. Well, good on you, Debbie, because this fox doesn't have a name. I called him Mr. Fox a while back, but he isn't even called that. He is described as a gentleman with a bushy tail and some whiskers, because throughout the whole story, Jemima doesn't realize it's a fox. So that's why he doesn't have a name. So Mr. Fox is not even called Mr. Fox. So now we know that. And this is Pigling Blend and his brother Alexander, who are being sent away by the farmer's wife because there's too many piglets and it just takes too much food to feed them all. Which of course is not very nice either, that children are being sent away from their parents. But anyway, that's the way it goes in the story. This again is Ribby, little kitten Ribby. This is the daughter of John Dormouse. This is not Peter Rabbit. This is a picture that I found in the story of a fierce bad rabbit. Now this actually is not the bad rabbit, this is the good rabbit. And you can see the fierce bad rabbit on the back. He's quite fierce and he sees this cute little rabbit, the sweet little rabbit with the carrot, and he wants the carrot. So he steals it of this cute little rabbit. So this is a sweet rabbit, but it's not Peter Rabbit, because it's here, you can see it, it's in this story. Doesn't have a name, it just says this is a nice gentle rabbit, his mother has given him a carrot. It doesn't give the rabbits a name. Now let's see, oh, this is the one with Pigling Blend. Obviously it's at the beginning of the book, they show this picture, the tale of Pigling Blend. And this again, the picture of Jemima Puddle Duck, is not in the middle of the story, it's at the beginning of the book again. The tale of Jemima Puddle Duck. Then the Benjamin Bunny pictures. Wow, I just went through them all. These are in here, in the tale of Benjamin Bunny. Peter Rabbit, we've just had. This one is in there. And then this one is at the end. The mouses, hear me. The rabbits having the milk, the bread and the blackberries, because Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail have been obedient to the mother and they get to eat the nice berries. So that's a good moral of the story. I like this one. Very good. So then another mystery remains, at least for me. It's these two little pictures. I could not find these either in any of the little booklets, and I'm supposed this is supposed to be the whole series. So if any of you know what stories these are from, if I'm lacking any stories, if the series is not complete, or if they have been discovered later as well, then please let me know. I'd love to know. So anyway, that's it for all the Peter Rabbit characters, Beatrix Potter characters, and the mystery of the pretty bunny drinking her tea. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Bye bye.